All right. Let's make sure that we are good to go here. We will get straight into it, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I think we are good. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another spicy episode of the Sanity stream with Lucius Coal. We are doing it live, ladies and gentlemen. If you like this type of content, go down below, like, subscribe, share, and of course, leave a comment if you think I deserve it. The Coal Factory and the Coal Train on our way to 1,000 Patriots strong. Maybe. Ladies and gentlemen, we got some crazy news going on right now. The Great Purge. The Great Cleansing, if you will, of conservatives all across the web. And I think we all saw this coming after what happened just a few days ago with the Capitol siege, if you will. Should have turned that off for you guys. Essentially what we're dealing with, guys, is our freedom of speech is under attack. Big Tech has made it very, very clear that they will not allow differentiating opinions. In fact, milquetoast groups like Walkaway, sorry, let me go this way, like you see behind me here, these people aren't radicals. These people aren't nuts. These are your moms, these are your grandmas, these are your normal, everyday, vanilla conservatives who simply went from the left side of the aisle to the right. And because of that, now they have the wrong opinion. Because they were Trump supporters, because they believed in liberty, they believed in free and fair trade, they believed that in order for us to have a country, we must have a border. Now that has been deemed as simply an irredeemable quality. That if you don't jump into the collective, if you don't jump into this Marxist utopia that the left has been engaged in, then quite frankly, you are the enemy. You're the enemy of the state. You are the enemy of big tech. You are the enemy of anybody who simply thinks that freedom of speech means that it has to be within line of the consensus. And this is very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. And this road is something that must be stopped now. And unfortunately, it's not going to stop. Because just like Joe Biden said, a dark winter is upon us. And this dark winter is going to push into the foreseeable future. Things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. I will be going through some comments towards the end here, but Rebecca Miller off the top, we can't let this happen. No time to be nice. It's time for civil war. I don't know if you saw the siege, quote unquote. That was a LARP. Of course, people are out there. They want to have, they want to understand what's going on in terms of the election. And obviously, being on YouTube, I can't really talk about that, unfortunately. But needless to say, I think we know some hijinks went on, and all we wanted to know was a simple audit. A lot of this that had happened in terms of the Capitol could have been easily dealt with if they had just allowed a forensic audit on any of the states. And there's been so much disinformation that's been put out there by the mainstream media that there are literally just normal everyday lefties, not crazy, utopian fanatics, but just normal everyday people who still believe to this day that courts actually heard evidence and decided that what was being presented was not warranted in terms of changing what the election result was. I am really proud of actually what happened on the Capitol. For those of you who don't know, 4 people actually died. An utter tragedy. One including a woman who was shot at point-blank range in the neck. A 4-tour veteran of the United States Air Force killed by a cop. Where's Black Lives Matter? Where's Antifa? Where's the fight against the state? Of course not. Of course not. You see, we have the wrong political opinions, and thus any violence from the state against us is therefore justified. So I see a lot of people pointing out the hypocrisy, and it's good. We should ridicule them. We should go out there and say, hey, look, there's a double standard. But they don't care. You see, they see us as the enemy. They've been calling us Nazis for years. So don't expect any amount of level of logic in terms of their ideology. Their ideology revolves around power. It's the only way we'll change what will happen. This from Rebecca Miller again. Antifa was there. It was all planned out. I don't think so. And the reason why I say that is because I know a handful of patriots that went up there myself that I have actually spoken to. I'm not going to drop names per se, but they were there. And people are fed up. It's really not that hard to grasp. I mean, when you think that your vote doesn't matter and the courts don't take up the case, and then you have basically all of the elites poo-pooing everything that has been put at them, whether it's the video evidence that's been presented, whether it's what happened in Arizona where they actually did an audit on a sample, and the Democrat who they put in there to actually verify the votes said 11% of the votes that they tallied had discrepancies. And that was from the Democrat side. Apparently, the Republicans said that 6% of the ballots that came in had discrepancies. There's a reason why they didn't want to look into it. FBI already confirmed it. Yeah, there were Antifa in there. From what my friend actually said, though, was where he was at, apparently there were some Antifa, but it wasn't a majority. There was a few interlaced in between, but it wasn't a vast majority. Most of the people that were there were Trump supporters, and I don't get why people are apologizing for what happened. Why are we apologizing? What did we do exactly? No one was armed. No one was hurt. You know, at least on their side. Apparently, a police officer is said to have died today, but that was after he went back to his unit, and it might have been from a heart attack, apparently, from what I've read so far. So, to this point, this is what we're dealing with. Rebecca, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I have good sources. I can verify that those people that were in there were Trump supporters. You can choose to believe whatever you want, but I trust my sources. I trust the people because they were actually there, boots on ground. I've seen the video. They were Trump supporters. I don't know what to tell you. You can believe what you want, but from what I trust these guys, former vets that were there, saw actually what was happening. These were Trump supporters. Yes, there were Antifa that were within the group, but it wasn't just all Antifa. I'm sick of the right. Like, why are we apologizing for this? What did we do exactly? Was this not the most monumental? Was this not the most greatest thing you've ever seen? Watching all of these pompous, ridiculous, bloodthirsty tyrants just quivering, clutching their pearls. Maybe they'll start to question whether no-knock warrants are a good idea. Heck, maybe you can bring the left in on this. Remember Breonna Taylor? Maybe they'll question it now. Maybe they'll question when all of those small businesses were attacked and destroyed by Black Lives Matter and Antifa. They only cared about it once it came to their front door. Once it affected them, all of a sudden it was a huge deal. All of a sudden it was a big, giant monstrosity. But when it's mom and pop shops in Kenosha, my friend, by the way, black guy, by the way, his entire business burned to the ground. Where were they then? Nobody cared. But the moment, oh, I love it. The fear in their eyes was amazing. These are the people, these cowards, these traitors who send our sons and daughters, including myself, off to war. And they're clutching their pearls from some Trump supporters walking in, essentially LARPing and just looking for answers. Insane. Oh, you agree with me? Yeah, Antifa was not the majority. 100%. 100%. I mean, it was patriots. I don't know why people are saying, oh my God, I condone this. This is so terrible. Look what happened with Kavanaugh. Look what happened at the Kavanaugh hearings. They got the red carpet treatment. And from the videos I've seen, it looks like the police let the people in. I don't know. I don't understand. Why are we apologizing? Why? Why? Stop apologizing. This is all Republicans do. They lay over Anyway, let's get into it, guys. Facebook has removed the walk away campaign and has banned me and every member from my team. Over 500,000 people in walkaway with hundreds of thousands of testimonial videos and stories is gone. Facebook has banned everything related to walkaway. Brandon Straka. This is the Great Purge, guys. This is the Great Cleansing. This is some milquetoast group. Like I said at the beginning, these are moderates. These aren't crazy storm the hill rednecks. These aren't Confederate flag waving, gun toting patriots. No, this is grandma. This is mom. This is dad. This is your brother. This is your sister. These are just normal everyday people. There's nothing about walkaway that incites violence. There's nothing about walkaway that's extreme or has forms of terrorism. These are just normal everyday people. This is probably the most vanilla conservative group that is out there. One of my major videos on this channel was from walkaway, explaining my story about learning about liberty, learning about Ron Paul, reading the Federalist Papers, reading the Constitution, going and seeing the Magna Carta up close, loving this country, serving this country. My friends died for this country. And what's happening right now is an utter disgrace. It is. It's good versus evil. And the thing is, too, there's people on the left, like Jimmy Dore, who are out there, who's a true populist. He is a populist. He's a progressive. Now, I don't agree with everything he says, but he is a truth teller. He is a truth teller. And we see through these lies. We see through all of this deceit. Big tech, the multimedia conglomerate, the big banks, the Fed, everything's against us. Everything. Everyone is against us. Of course they won't. They're not going to ban the Lincoln Project. They love those guys. The Republican Party is dead. They're gone. In my eyes, they are screwed. Absolutely screwed. Now, for those of you who haven't seen, for those of you who went to the Capitol, ladies and gentlemen, if a police officer shows up to your house, do not talk to them. If they ask to come inside your home, do not allow them. If they ask you any questions, ask for a warrant. If they don't have one, close the door. They are not there. They're there to incriminate you. They're not there to help you or just trying to figure out what happened. Don't talk to the feds. What you are witnessing right here is the FBI has arrested a West Virginia lawmaker, Derek Evans, for entering the U.S. Capitol during the unrest. They are taking political dissidents, people on the right, Republicans, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation are arresting them. Take a look.
Anything you want to say on his behalf?
He's a fine man. And thank you, Mr. Trump, for inviting a riot at the White House.
And you're his grandmother?
I'm his grandmother.
Is this not insane? They are now rounding up political dissidents. All year has been Black Lives Matter and Antifa. Over $2 billion of damages. And all it took was one day for Trump supporters to say, you know what? Enough is enough. And what happens? 4 of us dead? 4 of us dead by these pigs, by these monsters. In one day, in 1 hour, more Trump supporters died than 8 months of consistent rioting, arson, looting, and murder. 30 plus dead since the death of George Floyd. And it took an hour for the cops to light up 4 Trump supporters. That's it. And then they went to the Senate floor, and you know what they said? Thank you, police. What a wonderful job you guys did. Killing all those patriots. Literally the blood still out there of that veteran. What a great job. What a great job. Exactly, Rebecca. They were let in. But you are not going to see that. The media still hasn't said that the woman was a veteran. They're finally reporting on it. They're finally reporting. I don't know if you saw the video. There's a video of the police literally going full Scar in The Lion King and pushing a guy to his death. Will anything happen to these cops? Nope. Nothing will happen. Nothing. For those of you who haven't seen Lindsey Graham, I share your disgust, but we must speak up when this happens to other places. And exactly, this is what this is. They only care because it was in their backyard. We have to make politicians fear again. Am I endorsing violence? No. But we got to make them very, very uncomfortable. They are sick. Take a look. Keep in mind, this is after 8+ months of Antifa and Black Lives Matter. Rioting, looting, arson, murder. And in just a few days, Lindsey Graham decides that he's going to create a task force to round up all those dirty, dirty patriots that went in there. And did what? And did what exactly? Have you seen the pictures on the press? There's some broken glass. There's like a broken shelf. They had a zoom in of some dirt on the floor with an axe can. And yet there's literally buildings that have been turned to rubble in Kenosha, Minneapolis, Los Angeles, all across the country. And no one gave a damn. But the moment it was at their front door, now it's a big deal. Yeah, exactly. No, the police aren't our friends. The police are not our friends. So I don't know why the right keeps saying this. Law and order, law and order, law and order. Law and order for who? Law and order for what?
Or if you go too far, to injury. So what am I calling for? I'm calling for a joint task force to be assembled and spend all the time and money necessary to identify every person who breached the security of the Capitol, who occupied the chambers.
Just like that. Just like that. It took one event of Trump supporters, and now they have a joint task force. 8+ months of rioting and looting. Nobody held to heel. Virtually no one. Progressive justices allowing them to go off scot-free. Heck, the killer, the great killer, who simply went up to a Trump supporter and shot him in the chest. It took them 4 days, and it took the federal government to go in and actually get that guy. And yet, after one event in which 4 Trump supporters were lost, now they are the bad guys? Unbelievable. And this is exactly what we need to do to all of our politicians. And where I live, in Florida, I look very much forward to go to Mr. Webster and make his life a living hell. Am I saying be violent? No. I'm saying make your politicians very uncomfortable. Make their lives very uncomfortable. And let them know that they work for us. Take a look at how Lindsey Graham's constituents decide to deal with him now. Traitor. Everywhere they go. Hey, Maxine Waters said it best, right? When you find them, you go up to them. You confront them. Remember Maxine Waters? The gaslighting is insane by the media right now. An utter disgrace. They told Trump supporters for months, for over a year. Heck, this goes all the way back to Obama. That rioting, heck, in the defense of looting, ladies and gentlemen. You see, what rioting does is it creates change in the world. But the moment you go into Washington, D.C., and you happen to be wearing a red cap and you don't have the right skin color, well, then it's a problem. Oh, you're white? Oh, you have a red hat on? Oh, you're a terrorist. You're an insurrectionist. And be very, very clear with the language they're using. Because when they say insurrectionist, they're choosing these words for a very specific purpose. They're doing this because then they can bring federal charges on that. Now it's not just disturbing the peace or forced entry. No, they can go much, much farther. So they can put you in pound your ass federal prison for 10 plus years for being an insurrectionist. And the media is just fanning the flames. They've taken away our voice. They've taken away our vote. They've taken away our freedom with this lockdown madness. They're unpersoning us. And almost unilaterally, all of these big companies, Axe Body Spray, Coca-Cola, Bank of America, condemning the violence after months of backing groups like Black Lives Matter. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This is Off Parlor here, guys. And again, go check out Alt Tech. Check me out on Rumble. Check me out on Odyssey. Check me out on BitChute. Because, you know, my normal saying is, hey, almost 1,000 Patriots strong. And more than likely, this channel won't even make it. The throttling is insane already. My growth is quite great across all the other platforms. This is a constant battle every day. Yeah, they try to make it seem normal, Rebecca. And then when we engage in it, then it's a problem. When it's in their backyard, it's a problem. When patriots like this, Elijah Schaffer, go into the Capitol, who is press credentialed. He is part of the media. He wasn't in there inciting violence. He was simply documenting what was happening. A historic event in our nation's history. And what happens to him? What's going on, B. Hayes? What happens to him? Journalist Elijah Schaffer banned from Facebook and Instagram. Schaffer, who reports for The Blaze, was instrumental in reporting on protests and riots during the summer of 2020. He and his film crew got up close with riots across the country. Gone. Brandon Straka, walk away. Gone. Elijah Schaffer, gone. Expect a lot of these major conservative content creators to be gone. That's what we're dealing with. The Great Purge. NTD News, I'll check it out. And this is where I think we're kind of headed, guys. For those of you who don't know, this is from Terminator 2. Except instead of fighting, you know, a bunch of robots, we're going to be fighting big tech. We're going to be fighting basically underground. We're going to be underground patriots. Unfortunately, this is going to be the path forward. Alternative tech really is the only answer at this point. Because until it actually starts to hurt these people in the wallet, and YouTube doesn't even make money. They're a losing venture, for those of you who don't know. YouTube actually loses money running YouTube. But given the fact they're part of Alphabet, they're able to take that hit and continue on anyway. So even if they lose a vast amount of their user base, I don't see them changing their rules. Why would they? It's Silicon Valley. Gotcha. And if you think, for those of you who know, I mean, I'm off the Republican train. I never really was on it per se. It was mostly just, you know, Trump decided to run as a Republican. So, hey, he was a symbol for freedom. He was a symbol of a new age, an America First policy, actually taking in what his constituents are saying and executing on that plan. Of course, I've been, in terms of this year, I've not been a big fan of Trump. But in terms of our movement, it will be very, very easy to convert Trump supporters into this new following of an America First party, because the Republicans have lost us. They've done everything in their power, the Republican establishment, to push us out. And Nikki Haley last night apparently talking a bunch of BS about Donald Trump. Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham should have been primaried out back in November. And quite frankly, the American people are lazy. And I hate to say it, they're apathetic. And they're more interested in what's the new Netflix thing than actually what's happening in this country. Only 3% of people actually fought in the Revolutionary War. Only 3% of the American people actually decided to fight against tyranny. I feel like that's what we're dealing with now. We're dealing with the Great Purge. And this is what the people on the left are going to be dealing with here. New Democrat Senator Joe Manchin. You're going to hear this name a lot, guys. Joe Manchin will absolutely oppose further direct aid payments to Americans, denting hopes for another spending bill. This is going to be their new reason for not being able to accomplish anything for the populists who happen to fall on the progressive side of the aisle. And I've been looking for a bit of an alliance, to be honest. Because a lot of these guys agree in freedom of speech. We don't agree on a lot of things, but we agree in our right to speak our own truths. Yeah, they're pushing, what their big push for is Medicare for all. I don't agree with that. I think we should open up state lines. We should open up insurance across state lines so that we can lower the cost instead of upping the cost and giving it to government, because they do such a great job. Exactly. Hey, B. Hayes, I hear you, man. I hear you. I'm on the libertarian train too. Except the libertarians, for the most part, are open borders. And I refuse to jump on that. That's a grenade in my eyes. Unfortunately, that pushes me so far away from them. So that's why an America First party needs to be the path forward. Either way, you're going to hear this name, Joe Manchin, quite a bit. Because people that are in the fraud squad like AOC and Omar, they're going to use this guy as a way of not being able to pass legislation. The Democrats have the House, they have the Senate, and they have the presidency. There is no reason why they shouldn't be able to accomplish stuff. And this is why I keep saying, guys, this is all political theater. This is all a joke. This is all a game. And we're just their pawns. We are nothing to them. We mean nothing to them. You want $2,000? You want us to audit the votes? You want us to stop the terrorism and the mayhem all across the United States? Boom, boom, boom. No, we'll just kill you instead. That was the message from the government. And you know what? They sure said they hated walls. Donald Trump's walls? Oh, that's racist. For those of you who don't know, a giant metal fence has now been placed across all of Congress. We have a regime running the United States of America with a big, nice wall around them. It's amazing how people like the Pope and the Vatican, it's amazing how people up in Washington, D.C. now seem to love walls now when it comes to their own protection. Screw the plebs. Screw the American people. It's about us, baby. Don't you know? We are gods. Either way, guys, guess I'm going to end the stream here. I'm going to start doing this a little bit more live, seeing how it deals in terms of the algorithm, especially with what's going on. Probably be moving to BitChute and multi-streaming in the future on DLive, YouTube. I don't know what they're going to call it, Bitstream or whatever. And once we hit 1,000 Patriots here on YouTube, start opening up some more content, because I really want to get this train forward. And this is the thing. I want action. I want pragmatism. There are so many people that I have learned through doing this over the last 6 months that are total grifters. Complain, 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 complain. Oh my God, tyrannical government. Oh my God, Republicans backstabbed us. Oh my God, Democrats backstabbed us. Oh my God. Always so shocked. And then all these people come out and say, this is bad, this is wrong, this is this is that. No, let's actually do something about it. Let's actually do something about it. Let's make a political party. Let's organize. Let's become a movement. Let's become a force. Let's get these fake ass politicians out of their power, and let's be the power. Let's stop looking up to false idols to try to do something in this nation. Let's be the ones to change it. Either way, guys, shout out to B Hayes 82 and Rebecca Miller. Thank you very much for stopping in. I will see you all on the next one. I love you guys very, very much. Please go down below, like, subscribe, share, and of course, leave a comment if you think I deserve it. The Coal Factory and the Coal Train on our way to 1,000 Patriots strong if we don't get banned in the next few weeks. I love you guys. See you guys in the next one. Love ya. Peace. Coal Train. Choo-choo! Get some food, lift some weights, and love this country. See you in the next